Good morning, everybody. It is Monday, the 28th of September, and we're less than a week away from having our annual Heritage Farm Day, or Vintage Ag Day, whichever you want to call it. I'm changing out a sprinkler on this tower this morning because I'm having a heck of a time getting water out into the field via the corrugates. We plowed crosswise across the field this spring. Now I got humps, and water doesn't go over up hills very well, so we're sprinkling part of it. Yeah, still got corrugates running on some of it, but we're gonna do this on the rest of it. And that old brass sprinkler that was in there, it plumb wore out. So anyway, happy Monday, the 28th of September, everybody. Yeehaw! Let's get on with the preparations for the upcoming show on Saturday, October the 3rd. I am here at the pump house. Those sprinklers were running off of a garden hose that ran out and across and down all the way over there to the sprinklers. So yeah, I was losing a lot of water volume and pressure between here and there. So we're going to hook those sprinklers on to the riser that's over yonder there. And we're going to have a lot better flow and water pressure with any luck from there out to the field, because we're going to water the west half of the east field with sprinklers. You know, to make all this happen, the first thing I got to do is remove this plug. I was thinking ahead a little bit and had this other T installed in here for this. So yeah, a little bit of planning ahead is paying off now, because I figured we were going to be hooking into that sooner or later with something. So yeah, now when we put in the line to water the pine trees that run alongside the road, we're going to end up having to remove this pipe up here and add another T. Yeah, something, we'll let that drain for a second. And what I'm going to install, get it all lined up here, is this bushing. Yeah, and we'll screw that in there. And yeah, we'll go from there. Okay, we will tighten up this plug out there. It's not a plug, it's a bushing. It's 1.5 inch by 3/4 inch PVC bushing that's threaded all the way around. And we're going to attach a pipe and a valve to it. And I wanted to see how much room we needed here, and it looks like it's only going to need to be a little short, close nipple like we did here with another valve. What I have is a 3/4 inch little plastic ball valve that we pulled up off the line that came down here from the house when we originally started setting up a sprinkler system out here to water the grass around the pond and the creek and that. So I'm going to reuse this valve and a what they call a close nipple, which is a little short nipple. Gets everything up nice, tight, neat. Kind of something like that. Rotate that down a little bit. Yeah. Now we're going to take this, set it up in here. And this piece of Schedule 40 pipe nipple came from the riser hydrant deal over there, because I needed a piece of pipe to go in there, so I knew how to put this in. So what we're going to do is, what's too long here on this piece is I'm going to cut the end of it off and glue this to it. Yeah, so we're gonna measure that up right now. And yeah, all I got to do is just cut the thread end off of this, so we'll screw this back off of here and glue it together, and we're gonna be golden. Yeah. What I'm gonna do is try cutting the threaded end off here, and I'm just gonna work this back and forth a little bit. And that blade should cut right through that, like that. I don't know if you saw it, because I kind of got out of the camera range, but yeah, it's not the cleanest cut, but yeah, I can clean that up and make that work, just like that. So this end is going to get glued into that elbow. Kind of like that. I'm going to install this pipe though first before I glue it onto here. Before I get too crazy installing all of this, I'm going to coat this with a new layer of Teflon tape, just so it'll screw together easier. And of course, Teflon tape never behaves the way you think it ought to. There we go. A couple of wraps of that. Screw this up into here. Now the reason why I'm attaching this first and then gluing the long sweep elbow on afterwards, I got to rotate this piece, and that other one's going to be down in the trench where that poly pipe is. It won't turn down in there. So that's on. Now to glue it up and put it together. Okay, there's the bottom end of that pipe glued to the long sweep elbow with a poly pipe barb fitting on the end of the thing down here. You get all the grasses out of the way. I don't know how well that joint's going to hold right there. The reason I say I don't know how well that joint will hold is I think I got a little bit of water on the primer when I was putting all that together, and water and that glue won't mix and it won't seal. So we may end up with problems later on down the line with that fitting, which will have to be addressed later. As I'm tightening up this last clamp on here, you're probably asking me, Dave, what's all this garden hose and sprinkler stuff has to do with farming? Well, if you don't get any water to the fields, you can't grow any crops. So yeah, this is going to be a big part of getting water to what I'm going to call the garden plot area, because eventually we will have garden plots out there selling and growing fresh produce to sell. Like a little farmer's market set up here. So anyway, that's all in good and tight. So let's kick on the pump and see if we got a geyser over yonder. Okay, I don't know if you can see it or not. Probably not. It's the problem with the GoPro. They don't have zoom. Here goes the pump. Let's see if we got water shooting up over here in a second. The valve is open. Yeah, there it is. We got us a geyser over there. I don't know, like you said, I don't know if you can see it or not, but we definitely have water bubbling out of it, and a lot of it from the looks of it. Cool, it works. Now all of this mess from the pump down and around and out here towards the field for the sprinklers for the north side of the pond and the creek, all that can get filled in before somebody starts tripping in that and complaining because they're tripping over something that they shouldn't be, and yeah, all that kind of a mess that goes with that. That right there is where we had the gusher coming up when I turned the pump on. And this is the little valve we had on there. We were way up above the tin riser right here that this is next to. Two 2-foot sections were a little bit long. And I was thinking of that drop pipe, or the piece that went down out of the valve over at the pump house when I bought it. And I knew I had a shorter piece, so we're going to put the shorter piece in here and utilize it, because that's a little bit shorter than what we had, and it doesn't need to be quite that tall, but yet it'll work here for what the application is here. So I'll put this shorter piece on here, screw all this together. We'll turn the pump back on and pressurize the system, check for leaks, and yeah, then we'll hook the hoses up and get back to squirting water on the field out here, so we're ready for Saturday. Got to get this on good and tight though. Yeah, we're gonna aim it probably maybe like that. We can always change it. Yeah. Okay, now's the moment of truth. Let's see what we got going here. Oh yeah, darn good flow of water. Yeah. So we'll hook a garden hose on here, that one right there, and start getting some water going on out there in the field. The sprinklers are up and running now in the field, so I can get on to another project today. Another thing we've got to do today is get the Dear John 50 out of here so we can get to the grain drill. It's parked right back in there behind it. Yeah. So we're going to use the old H and hook onto that front axle, that yoke there, and we're going to drag the 50 out from where it's been parked for the last year. With no one to steer, it makes this operation a little tricky. Although the chains should straighten out that front wheel enough so that the John Deere will actually kind of follow me a bit, maybe. Well, at least it's getting out of the way. Yeah. We'll roll it out here and park it. Yeah, we'll get it right out here and park it at the end of the field here. Then we'll line up with some of the implements. This tractor is for sale if anybody is interested. 800 bucks. Come get it. The only thing's wrong with it is that gear shift's out of whack and it needs a new exhaust manifold. Other than that, minor little bits and pieces. Now I'll go get the grain drill out and we'll get it lubed up and ready to go. Yeah! Before we start cleaning this thing up, we're going to check and make sure nothing on the inside. So yeah, we're clean in there for the most part. And the small seed hopper is clean other than a piece of rope in there. So we're good there. Well, I think the old case grain drill has cleaned up rather nicely. It is going to dry off here for a little bit. We'll check the air pressure in the tires and grease all the fittings after it's dried off and dried out, because I even washed down inside the hopper and yeah, cleaned that up a bit. If somebody's bringing a cat style dozer with a blade on the front end of it, if you want to try it, we got a concrete foundation here that could be knocked in. There's a concrete step and whatnot over there for an old manufactured home that was sitting here. What we'd like to do is get this concrete knocked out along here and back there so that we can level this and turn this into a parking area. Not only for people coming to see the shows that we're going to do, but for the equipment. So if anybody wants to try it, they're more than welcome to try knocking out this concrete. Yeah. Well, I don't know that you can see the smoke coming up from the Badger Creek fire. It's right there above my finger. That is still burning. It is heading south and west into some new territory down there. It is burning. I wish this thing had a zoom lens on it though, so you could see the smoke that's coming up a little better, but it is still burning up there for the Badger Creek fire. Yeah, there's something you don't see very often. A KC-135 air tanker heading into the Twin Falls Airport, and that old bird's in a hurry. Those Air Force KC-135 air tankers usually come in a lot slower than that, but he must be in a hurry to get to a flyboy that needs a little bit of fuel for his fighter. Some of you over the years have made comments about the plows needing to have a shine on them so they'll turn the dirt easier. Well, we got that covered today. Sarge is working on that. By God, they want a shine, I'm gonna give them a shine. Well, that's going to about wrap it up for today. By the time you see this, the fence here will be pulled out back here as normal, so you can all pull in that way with the large trucks and trailers if you'd like, and come right on into the end of the place from the south here, and you can use the loading ramp, of course, there and whatnot. So anyway, we're looking forward to having you all here on Saturday the 3rd. So stop by, bring you a picnic, lunch, camp out there by the pond or whatever, and we will catch up with you later. I'm Farmer Dave, and as always, don't forget to click on that little red thing right down there. It says subscribe on it. We'll catch up with you later. Y'all have a good one now. Bye-bye.